I'm joined now by dancer Torian Pickett. Torian, thank you so much for being here. I want to dive into your dance ability and your athleticism. I was watching some videos and you are incredible.
Thank you.
When did you start dancing?
I started dancing my freshman year in high school. I started dance
No.
team. Yeah, I started pretty late, so.
That's insane. Okay, you started with dance team. What did that entail?
So we competed throughout Indiana with like regional competitions, and I started off with just hip hop, and then started taking like ballet classes, lyrical jazz, and it just grew from there.
So clearly you were meant to be a dancer, because I don't think that you can start that late unless it's really in you. Did you feel right away like, oh, this is home?
For sure, I definitely felt like after I learned a couple more styles, like I just fell in love
Yeah.
from the start.
I would have, again, with my limited knowledge of what you do, just having watched the videos, I would have thought that you'd been dancing ballet since you were a child. How long did it take you to get to the proficiency where you are today?
So it definitely took a while, especially having to learn how to work my muscles and my body and competing against some kids who have danced since they were 3.
Yeah.
But it definitely took a lot of time, a lot of care and intention, and I just wanted to really develop as an artist. So I think that's what pushed me forward and pushed my growth a little more.
So that's what I was thinking as I was watching you, that yes, you're a dancer, but also an athlete, but also an artist. There's so much, it's so evocative. There's so much emotion that comes through your work. So when did that start to creep in? Did you feel like you had to get like all the technique down, or were you an artist first and then a dancer?
Ooh, a great question. I want to say I was an artist before I started.
Yeah.
I love the like storytelling aspect of dance.
Yeah.
And I was able to like just dive deep into my emotions and be able to portray them through movement.
Yeah. Okay, tell me about, you are able to balance on your head. It's crazy town. When do you think to yourself, I know, today I'm going to attempt to balance on my head and I'm going to make it look cool and beautiful? Like,
So I really try to abandon fear when I'm trying new things, because a lot of times, like you said, when you start young, a lot of kids don't have like that fear. They're like, let me
Yes.
go flip around and go on my
Totally.
head. And as you get older, you're like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt my neck, or I don't want to hurt anything. So I definitely just try to abandon fear and not be afraid to fail at something.
okay, but is the fear of getting hurt there?
Yes, it's still present. It's still present. I just kind of like push through it, and even like strength training will help sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Okay, let's talk about that. I have mentioned your athleticism. So how much of what you do is also just athletically training?
definitely a lot. A lot of teachers try to encourage cross training for dance because it prevents injuries, helps
Yeah.
with like mobility and just strength in general. So I'm constantly in the studio working out, working on technique, things like that, just to keep growing, keep my endurance up. So.
Yeah. Okay, you were saying that right after this you are going to dance.
Yes.
So what does that look like? Are you training? Are you choreographing? What does going to dance look like for you?
Yeah, so all of the above, really. I teach at a competitive studio as well as an outreach artist for the Fort Wayne Dance Collective. So I'm involved in a lot of shows where I'm choreographing or dancing in. And I also choreograph for the competitive studio as well, Shikri. And so I'll go in, sometimes I'll improv to music, stretch, warm up, maybe even create some choreography for the day.
Yeah.
But definitely just working 24/7 because there's always another show or another routine. So
Yeah, do you fear burnout, or do you ever feel burnout, or does it always feel like an artistic expression?
yeah, so I do get scared that I'm going to feel burnout, especially picking up so many like different projects. But I'm very emotionally driven, and so times sometimes I'll be like, oh, wow, I don't know if I can do this. And then if I'm emotionally attached to it, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is incredible. I have to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so what happens when you're emotionally driven to do something, but your body's just tired? I mean, I can imagine that when your body is your instrument, sometimes there is a fight between wanting to rest or needing to rest and wanting to express yourself in that way. Does that happen?
Yeah, oh, for sure. So many dancers I know, like, if you push yourself too hard, you get to a point where like it takes like the passion and the joy out of it.
Yeah.
So I definitely believe in taking time for yourself. I'll take days where I'm like, you know what, I'm not moving at all today. I'm just going to exist. And I think that
Nice.
helps a lot.
Yeah. Okay, you teach and choreograph. Do you have and dance as as a dancer? Do you have a favorite component of your work?
Definitely, I love dancing and performing, but choreographing has just came so easy for me. I love being able to take an idea or a story I'm trying to portray and placing it on someone else. I just think seeing like the end result is always so magical, and it's a great process.
Okay, tell me about that process. So, how does it start? Do you start with the music? Do you start with an idea? Do you start with dancers that you want to create something for, or all of the above?
Yeah, so definitely all of those factors can be considered when choreographing a piece. Sometimes people improv to a song, or they'll find an outfit and be like, I need to find a song for this outfit.
Oh, that never even occurred to me.
Yeah. I'm definitely someone who I like search through music, and whatever song or piece I find, if it like clicks for me, like the ideas just start flowing.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll even look up an outfit and I'll be like, oh yes, I need this and this is gonna happen.
Okay, so this is random, but speaking of outfits, in some of your videos, I'm watching you and I'm like, you are barefoot. And that is fascinating to me. I don't understand how you could be so mobile without any sort of, it probably doesn't make sense to you because you are a dancer, but to me, I'm like, wouldn't that be easier with like jazz shoes or something?
For sure. So my feet definitely aren't in the prettiest condition.
Well, neither are mine, but not for the same reasons.
But like half soles, jazz shoes, all of that definitely make like turning easier.
Yes. You were turning like nobody's business, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he's barefoot.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yes, I definitely prefer it a little more personally for like control of my turns.
Yeah.
But it does come with a price with my feet looking how they do.
Okay, tell me about, I mean, you're doing splits in the air. You're doing like all of the ballet athlete stuff. Did you start doing that in high school, or did it take a while to work up to that?
So I definitely feel like I have grown the most these past 5 years after like really getting into like choreographing and teaching.
Yeah.
In high school, there definitely were like those tricks that came like easier to me, but I've always struggled with like flexibility. I just wasn't like off the bat able to like pick up my leg.
Yeah.
So I've just worked a lot on that and like the acro components of it, flexibility. And it's been a learning process.
Is there a style that you haven't tried that you are scared of? Or I know you don't go there with the feet. Is there a style that you haven't tried that you're like, oh, okay, well that might be a challenge?
Yes. So I haven't taken ballroom, which I want to get into, as well as tap, which I'm getting into this year.
Yeah.
So those intimidate me a little bit.
I saw that you do partnering. What is that like to be a dancer who is expressing himself and then also have to take this other person into account? Is that a challenge? Is it a joy? Is it both?
Yeah, definitely. I always say to my students, like, duets are like the hardest dances to compete because there's only two people on stage and they're looking for that connection.
Yeah.
And just that authenticity. So I definitely think it can be a challenge at times, but the payoff is very rewarding,
Yeah.
having that connection with someone in your partners.
Yeah. So what is the hardest part of being an artist?
Definitely the like vulnerability of it all, putting yourself out in front of people to see and judge and perceive. That's like the scariest part, I think, because you never know what the feedback's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's the scariest part of it all, is taking that leap.
What's the best part? What makes it worth it?
What makes it worth it? I would say seeing smiles on people's faces after their daughter or son walks off stage for the first time at their first recital. I just think it's very rewarding.
Yeah. Art is such a universal language. Is it hard sometimes when you are speaking your language, when you are emoting in the way that only you can, and to know that you're putting it out there and people may or may not understand your language? Is that hard, or does that not matter?
It can be hard sometimes, because definitely when you're like creating pieces or performing, you want to portray like every emotion or every reason behind this piece.
Yeah.
And like you said, some people may not understand it, and that can be hard, but at the end of the day, as long as you inspire one person in a room of 100, it's okay.
Yeah, your work is so beautiful and it's inspiring. I watch you and I go, I can't move my body like that, but I would love to at least express myself like that. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Arts in Focus on PBS Fort Wayne is funded in part by